Just such a dramatic entrance for the wonderful Lois
Zoomed in.
I know. Thank you so much for joining us, Lois. So for people who don't know Lois, Lois and I have met how many years ago now? 15, 20?
My daughter was 25 yesterday. So how
Wow.
old was she when you first met her? Yeah.
Yes. Wow. It's such a long time. But then I've been doing this material, so I'll let Lois introduce herself and what she does. So yeah, actually, I'll just let you introduce yourself. Who are you and what do you do?
Hello, well, my name's Lois. So what I do primarily is I'm a solicitor and a mediator. So I can go to court and argue for you, or I can try not to argue and resolve the difficulties for you without having to go to court and argue. So for me, it's a bit like house sales and lettings, and either way, you're covered with me, which is great. So I enjoy both sides of it, actually. I enjoy the arguing and I also enjoy the not arguing. So yeah, that's what I do primarily. I do a bit of training as well. So yeah. Fill my days a lot.
Yes, if anybody wants a solicitor, you want Lois on your case. Let me tell you that much. That's all I have to say about that. She's absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I know that you've studied this material, thinking into results, and you've had quite an amazing. We have so many good conversations, don't we? Where we're like paradigm spotters. There's a paradigm. Did you hear that one? Did you hear that? I mean, you can spot them everywhere now when you've done this, and you just go, "Oh my goodness, I didn't know I was like that before." But what drew you to literally come into that thinking into results material in the first place?
Well, I suppose I firstly have to say you, Sheena. I mean, that's the first thing, because I know that you got involved with it before me and you were banging my head on the table saying, Lois, get involved. And I'm going, Sheena, it's a bit weird. No, I'm not going to. So you continually banged my head on the table. And eventually I went, oh, okay, then I'll give it a go. What I really love is that feeling of increase. I've always wanted more, and I don't mean just more materially. I just want that idea of the growth and that I become more on a daily basis. I don't want to be what I am today forever. And that actually is quite unusual in society. You meet people, they're very content with where they are. And I didn't really quite understand where that came from me. And I get it now. I always thought there was more, and now I know there's more. So for me, it was that feeling of increase and that I was missing out on something, really. Not to live on the competitive plane, of course, but I felt that I wasn't maximizing who I could be and what I could do. Even though I was doing a lot, I wasn't satisfied. I felt there was more to be had, but I didn't know how to achieve it. And so that's really what drew me to the growth. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's because that's what some people in corporate and who are in roles like yourself think that, well, I've got this education, so I don't need to do any personal development work. That's what we can see, is that this is seen to be maybe fluffy or whatever. I mean, what was your experience of it? Because that's the thing where you said, first of all, no, I don't want to do that. But then when you got involved, you were like, oh, I see. How can we help people who are in corporate, who are in positions like yourself, see that there is this grows your business. The mindset work grows your business.
For me, the starting point was I decided, okay, I'm quite logical. Sheena says this works. I'll believe her. Okay. So what I did was very simply, I started manifesting car parking spaces. So literally, when I would go into a town, any town, I would drive up and I would say, there'll be a space for me just where I want it. And I would define which shop I wanted it out in front of. And there was a space for me. Regularly, there was a space. I'd say there was the odd time there wasn't. And I'd be going, oh, no, it's not real. And then one day I was very late for court. And I had to be in court at a certain time, and the court is over. It's about a half an hour's drive away, and I got stuck behind things, and I was going really slow, and I was going to be late before the judge. And I thought, I need this parking space right outside the front of the building at the bottom of the steps. And I kid you not, I have never, ever in my life achieved a parking space in the front of the building at the bottom of the steps. But I thought, it's going to be there, Lois. I didn't even drive around the back, which was the turning was before. I drove to the front of the building at the bottom of the steps, and there was a parking space for me. And I thought, okay, I think that's saying that I have to believe some of this now. So that's
Wow.
really, and I know it was unbelievable. And honestly, you hear people say things like that, and you think, oh, they're just joking. I'm not. It was there.
Ah,
So yeah.
awesome, awesome. And I know that you got yourself really involved. In fact, you went even further study into behind all this. So what would you say has been the key growth for you? Never mind what, you know, because there's learnings behind that growth, but the growth in your business that you would say, listen, because I sorted my mindset out, you know, I've noticed this in my business.
I no longer sit here thinking that anything is not possible. So before this sort of learning about this, I used to think, oh, I'm not very good at that, or I'm not very good at that. And that truly is a really self-fulfilling prophecy. If you say you're not good at something, you won't be. So as soon as you say the words, give up then, you know, because if you keep saying to yourself, you're not good at something, you never will be. So there's no point. So I suddenly realized, I was saying, well, why do you think that, Lois? Why is that voice in your head saying that? Actually, you're as good as anybody else, and you know, may well be better. So I just said, you know, you just are what you are, and you are good at this. Just do it. And so that's really what changed my approach to business. So I no longer think, I suppose it's that imposter syndrome. I no longer feel that. I just think I am what I am. I have strengths and weaknesses, but it doesn't matter. I'm good at it, and that's it.
I mean, the big thing for me was, you know, whenever you moved, oh, where's Lois gone? Oh, there you go.
No,
You're back again.
sorry. Yeah.
The biggest thing for me was that when I first noticed was how one minute you're living in a lovely house, it was beautiful, but then you're living in this massive house that was even more beautiful. And I mean, I remember walking into it for the first time and just going, like, it just reminds me, Lois, of whenever I was younger, and my nanny always had these big houses with the big grand ceilings and the furniture and the pictures and everything. And whenever I walked into that house, I was just like, it felt like home to me, because it was like, you know, my nanny's home and what I was brought up in. And then the next minute you're living in that house. I mean, just how did that happen? Because that was a little miracle in itself, wasn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so. I didn't really see it like that. It was just that I needed that to accommodate what I wanted. So my parents are both in their mid-80s. They were living on their own. They weren't really coping. So I just thought, well, I need a space where actually I don't want to live with them. But so that I'm there on hand, and that the house just enabled that to happen really. Mind you, I've been just minimized in the house now, lovely large house, daughter on the top floor, parents on the ground floor and the middle floor. I think I've got about 2 or 3 rooms now. So I think I had more space in my other house, but no, it's lovely. And it's lovely to be able to provide that for everybody, so everybody feels comfortable and secure. And we have an amazing view, which in fact you just need one little space to sit in and watch the view. So that's all really.
One of the things that you'll all notice about Lois is she's very humble about everything that she does, because I know what her strengths are. And one of her strengths is achiever, in which case she's always just going, well, this can always be better. They can always be better. And it's just like, you know, so everything that she's done, because you've just gone from strength to strength with your company as well, isn't it? Because not only are you a mediator, but then you're training other mediators, but then you're even more than that, you know, just like the journey that you've been on in the last, Lois, it's only been a year, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think I really like the phrase create space in your day, because I think it's really, and I think I was guilty of this. And sometimes I find myself still doing it. I mean, even if you're aware of the situation, doesn't mean it doesn't happen to you, but you just stop it sooner, I think, really. So the hamster wheel. So in business, and, you know, especially as a solicitor, you can be on this hamster wheel, and all you're doing is literally firefighting the next thing. And actually, what you need is space in your day to just sit there and think, okay, what am I planning to do? What do I want to do? Not just firefighting the next thing. So having created space in my day, then what I found is that I've had sort of intuition and ideas come into my head to take my businesses in different directions. So you're absolutely right. With the mediation training, I'm about to, I've released a members website, but also a train the trainer. So basically franchise my training for someone else to do. And then also the next thing is I'm going to do is a family mediation training course. So just expanding it more. I've taken a couple of trainee solicitors, so everything's just growing really. So yeah. It's
I
all
just
good.
love it. I love it because it's just, and that's what's really key because we think that by being busier, I'm meeting so many people who just like some guy said, I work from, 5 in the morning until 10 at night. And I mean, that's just exhaustion. So when you hit the Saturday, well, of course you've had no ideas because people go, well, where do these ideas come from? And you just articulated it there. It's just like, and to stop for busy people. That's the weirdest thing, isn't it? What you want me to just to sit here for half an hour? What? In a busy day? No, but that's where the ideas come through, isn't it?
It is. I think the thing that I'm really conscious, I still work long hours, work, people call work. Now, lots of people see work as a negative connotation. I love my work. I enjoy doing it. So to work or spend time doing what I enjoy for a lot of hours a day is not a problem to me. It's not an issue. It's all about your perception. If you're spending all your day doing something you don't like, then clearly that's going to have a negative impact. If you're doing what you love, I mean, on Sunday night, I drove down to London. So that's what, 4.5 hour drive. I stayed in my club. So that's another story, but something else I manifested in central London, stayed in the club. I had people come in. I ran a course on Monday and I drove back up and I got back up at about 11 o'clock on Monday night. Now, for a lot of people, they'd say to themselves, that's really long hours. Actually, for me, I just enjoy it. I enjoy being in the car, gives me space, gives me time to catch up on telephone calls. I enjoy meeting the people. I enjoy running the course. I enjoyed being at the club. So for me, that wasn't work. Yes, I earned from it, but it wasn't work. And I suppose it's all about how you spend your time.
And that's it. And why would people spend all that time, my goodness, doing something that they don't want? So it's absolutely wonderful to hear that. So that's the, on the business side, and there's still so much. I mean, my goodness, we could actually write a whole list just of what Lois has achieved in this last year anyway. But so actually, if you want to, Lois is a solicitor, you just reach out to her, Lois Kingsley, in case the name doesn't come up properly. But the other thing was on a personal level, how you feel in yourself and how you think that has affected your results. So that feeling on a deeper level and understanding of yourself.
I think it's this idea of calmness, and I really like serenity, this idea that it's living from the inside out rather than having everything around you affect what goes on inside. And for me, that's the biggest key. I think you can, friends say things, do things, you react to that. Something in the work, someone telephones you in a certain manner, it affects how you feel. We talk about having good days and bad days. I just don't see that anymore. Every day, if you want a good day, but it isn't a good day because it's just the day that I enjoy doing what I do. So, I might have a phone call that I'm not most comfortable with, but as soon as that phone call's over, I clear it, move on, and I'm just who I am. And I just think that's really, rather than living, oh, someone's spoken to me in this way, or someone's cut me up on the way to work and I'm going to have a bad day now. It's not true. You just had a moment where someone made a mistake and that's it. Why turn it into something? So it's just that ability on a personal level to control what you're thinking about and control where your energy is going. I think it's really important.
That is what's amazing, because this morning I was asking people about, what is it they wanted? What did they want the money for? What did they want the new job, new house, new car, whatever for? And I was trying to get them to back. And it took a while for that to come, but they get back. And it's just, well, actually for peace of mind, and I think it's to stop fighting ourselves. I mean, that was the first thing for me, was to realize I've been fighting myself for 50 years. Are you kidding me?
Get out of your own way.
Definitely 100%. So for the people watching, they'll watch it on replay as well. It's what would you say to people if they're sitting on the fence of thinking into results, and they've literally, they're sitting on the fence of thinking into results? What would you say to them?
I would say you only regret the things you don't do. So you don't know whether this is going to work for you. So give it a go. And I suspect it will. If you truly commit and make the changes, I have a really strong feeling that it's going to work for you.
I love that. I absolutely love that. It just looks like, it's that word there that you said was commit. It's commit to themselves. They're not committing to a program. It's like me committing to the plane when I'm flying over to Dubai. I'm not committing to the plane at all. I'm committing to the journey and going there and having fun in Dubai. And so that's what we're committing to, is their goal at the end of the day. So, I mean, Lois is just literally one example of, you know, she sees something, she goes for it, but her ideas have just gone bigger and better than she's ever done before. Not that what she'd done before was small, let me tell you, but you know, you can just see where she's going. So thank you so much, Lois. If you've got anything else to say.
Oh, thank you, Sheena. No, I don't think so. No, just go for it, I'd say. Just have a go. You know, it's 6 months of your life or a year of your life. If it doesn't work for you, that's fine. But have a go.
Yeah, absolutely super, super. Well, if you stay on here, I'm just going to say goodbye to everybody and thank you very much for showing up. It is absolutely brilliant.